It's coffee time.
Oh, let's do that again.
Okay, it's coffee time.
All right.
Good morning, it's coffee time.
Paul, you missed it. I missed it. Say it now.
Good morning, it's coffee.
All right. I love the thrill that I feel when I get together with God's wonderful people. I love the thrill that I feel when I get together with God's wonderful people. Oh, it's like just to see all the happy faces, praising God in heavenly places.
The thrill that I feel when I get together with God's wonderful people.
It's coffee time.
Welcome to
Coffee time!
It's coffee time.
Good morning, it's coffee time.
Welcome to Coffee Time.
Welcome to coffee time. It's coffee time. I love the thrill that I feel when I get together with God's wonderful people. I love the thrill that I feel when I get together with God's wonderful people. What a sight is to see all the happy faces, praising God in heavenly places. What a thrill that I feel when I get together with God's wonderful people.
It would help if I wasn't on 100 page. 771. Tell us your blessings today. When upon my hill you are met with frost, when you are discouraged thinking all is lost, count your many blessings, name them one by one, and it will surprise you what the Lord has done. Count your blessings, name them one by one. Count your blessings, see what God has done. Count your blessings, name them one by one. Count your many blessings, see what God has done. Welcome to Coffee Time's continuing drama as the church turns. Today at the Sinking Creek Community Church, Pastor Cliff spoke a sermon that made people mad. Later, Bart and Bertha, Bartholomew, are at home talking after church Sunday morning, to which Bertha says to Bart,
Bert, can you believe that Pastor Cliff said such a thing in his sermon today? I was offended.
to which Bart replies to his wife Bertha,
Yay, Bertha. Pastor Cliff has a lot of gauze speaking that way to us.
then Bertha sharply replies to her husband.
Bart, I think what you mean is wrong.
Bart then pipes up and says,
Well, he has that too.
be with us next time on As the Church Turns, when Bertha turns to Bart and says,
Bert, do you think I should take over leading the ladies' prayer meeting every week after Gertrude McKenzie moves away next month?
to which Bert replies,
Well, Bertha, if prayer request is the same as church gossip, you will have a full house of ladies.
and that's our show.
What a beautiful, beautiful song.
Like a babe when it cries for its mother, like a child I was helpless alone. Then I met the Master. Now I am the one of his own. For all things
broke through all around me, and I met the Master. Now I belong to Him.
All right, well, first and foremost, I'm going to have to qualify this a little bit and just say this may or may not be about my sister. And sister, you're going to have to forgive me again. You should be used to this. I tell on you so much and have my whole life. So you're just going to have to bend and bear this. So here's the way this goes. So last week, in fact, I believe that the story of the day or whatever was any animal interactions that people might have had with pets or different things, being bitten or whatever. And it just so happens this past week, something pretty unique happened for who may or may not be my sister. And so they do some animal rescue, and they've been working pretty much with a breeder out of Las Vegas, and they kind of rescue boxers and that have not had a real family environment in most of their lives. And so when they get these animals, there's some time spent trying to get them accustomed to being just part of a family and literally even being in a house, because most of them never had that experience before in their life. So they currently have this dog, wonderful dog. She came in and, like the others, required a little bit of being embedded into the family so that they would start to understand what affection was, and just things you came embedded. So anyway, this dog's name is Lily, and Artist and this dog pretty much adopted each other. So they're, for the most part, inseparable. Of course, both kids go out and work, which leaves her at home alone with the dog. And so all of this to say, long story shorter, is the dog is accustomed to kind of going from bedroom to bedroom at times, but most of the time she likes to come into my sister's room, into what might be my sister's room, and pop up on the bed, sometimes in the middle of the night. And so my sister always keeps this blanket off to the side, and when the dog pops up there, she just says, "Lay down, Lily," and she'll cover the dog up. So just this last week, about 1 o'clock in the morning, the dog jumps up on the bed, and it's pitch dark in the room, and she just kind of grabs that blanket and says, "Lay down, Lily," and Lily won't lay down. And instead, Lily is sitting over her, and all of a sudden, who may or may not be my sister, felt this heavy, wet object crawl or fall across her face. Needless to say, who may or may not be my sister was panicked at that time and threw it off onto the floor. Turned the light on. And the way I found out about this story is she sent me a text the following morning and said, "I want you to meet my new bestie, Opie." And it turns out Opie was a possum. And the home has a pet door, so the dog can go in and out of a fenced backyard anytime that she wants. And on this occasion, she decided to bring in a possum that either she found deceased or she helped in the process of deceasing. Of course, who may or may not be my sister was concerned with the fact that possums like to play dead, and she wasn't sure if this animal truly was deceased or not. And literally at 1 in the morning, woke my nephew up, made him come up, get it in a box, get it back outside, and then this person who may or may not be my sister spent part of the rest of the night scrubbing her face with soap, and then the rest of the night trying to get the soap out of her eyes and the taste of the soap out of her mouth, because she apparently did a very good job of disinfecting her face after that. So that is my sister, who may or may not be my sister's horrific animal story from this past week.
All right. Carlton and Nolan, bring your wood stuff down here, would you? We're going to talk here a little bit with the boys. They have a lot of hobbies, more than just music. And bring the mic when you come around too, will you, Carlton?
Where are we going?
Right around the front there. Stand right in front of the two. You rock around the piano. It's easier there. And I'm Pastor Cliff with the Miller family today. We're glad you're with us on Coffee Time. Give you a little break there. Carlton, you are a multifaceted person, and so is Nolan. Not only do they do music, but tell us how you got into lathe. Come up here in front of the camera.
So, we're talking to the camera.
Okay, let me just make sure we're on here.
All right, so basically, just my freshman year, I was taking a STEM class, and some of my buddies introduced me to wood turning, and liked it a lot. I turned a few things that weren't really that great at the time, but then around last Christmas, I bought a lathe, and I started turning pens.
Show us a little bit about them.
So most of the pens I make are made of wood, but other ones, some of the specialty ones are made of like deer antler, corn cobs, pretty much anything. So
Let's get it right up to the camera there so we can, there we go. I'll tell you what, put it up by your neck. There you go.
here's one. This one is made of cocobolo. It's a rosewood from Brazil.
Wow.
And I've got a bunch of this laying around, so I decided to make a few pens out of it. It turned out pretty nice. It has a lot of variation. And I don't stain any of these. These are all the natural color of the wood.
How long does it take you to make one?
So it can take anywhere from 30 minutes to 2 hours.
30 minutes to 2 hours. Wow. Now, I want to ask you a question. Come back here and stand. Now, we're not selling these for the church, but you're a little entrepreneur, you and your. How much will you charge for a beautiful pen like this if somebody wants one?
So these ones are $25.
Okay.
And then here's a more basic one. This one is a $20 pen. It's also made of cocobolo.
Okay. For your gift to the ministry of $200. Show us what you have made now, Nolan. I'm going to keep you both here. Show us what you've got there.
I make wooden rings.
Okay. All right. Put it right up to the camera there so they can, right up to your face. There you go. Yeah. How long does that take you to do that?
Well, the first one took about 4 days because we ordered the wrong parts. They usually take, well, now I've only done 2, so I got it down to around 3 hours.
Okay. We have got deer slayers on our hands here too. Tell us about the dough you shot this year. Give us the story. Don't embellish too much.
All right.
But tell us how it happened. Then we're going to go to your story.
Well, I was hunting with my Uncle John, and around 40 minutes before closing, around 12, does showed up. So one gave me a good broadside shot, and I shot it.
All right. Now this is the buck slayer here. Come right here and stand. I'm not sure if we're in the camera. Okay. Tell us what happened with you on bow hunting, right?
Yeah. So I was sitting in the stand with my bow, and about a minute or two before closing season, this buck came back behind my stand. So I switched to turn around and pull back to aim right at him, but my harness was wrapped around my arm, so I couldn't pull back. So as soon as he got behind the tree directly, I switched around as fast as I could, but then he saw me. So he started to run, so I pulled back and got him right in the lungs.
Were you excited?
Yeah.
Yeah. You know, you asked this kid, were you, oh yeah, that's all right. Yeah. But he's really excited inside when he sees, how many horns?
10.
10, okay. What are some of your other guys' hobbies you do? You like to fish. Come here, Carlton. I don't want to embarrass him, but I will. I don't know if it's still on YouTube. There is a short series that lasts, 2 episodes?
It's 3.
3. Adventures with Carl. You boys did it for Uncle.
No.
Carl, tell us, it was really funny. My wife and I laughed, and you both were in it. And Uncle Wade.
Well, it started as a joke between some of the kids at my school. They said I should make a YouTube channel, so I did. And I kind of wish I didn't. videos are kind of dumb, but
They're funny. They're really good. If they were to type it in, just humor us. What would they have to type in?
well, it would be capital C for Carl's, and then apostrophe S, and then space, and then capital O for outdoors.
All right. If you guys have questions, type them in for these boys. Any questions about hunting, music, lathing, let them know, all right? You can go sit back down. It's so good to have you guys. We're going to do another song. We're going to sing Getting Used to the Family of God, another Wednesday night song we sing a lot here. On
Coffee hour.
Climbing the mountains, crossing the plains, fording the rivers, sharing the pain. Sometimes the losses, and sometimes the gain. Getting used to the family of God. Going together, enjoying the trip, getting used to the family, I'll spend eternity with. Learning to love you, how easy it is, getting used to the family of God. Raising our hands to a brother that's new, learning to say that I really love you, learning to walk as the Master would do, getting used to the family of God. Going together, enjoying the trip, getting used to the family, I'll spend eternity with. Learning to love you, how easy it is, getting used to the family of God.
Okay, it says, how embarrassing. A girl from the Midwest made a trip to Hollywood, California.
Was that you?
I don't know if I've ever been there.
Oh, okay. Sorry.
I've been to Disney out there, so
Okay.
that's in, where? Anaheim?
I don't know.
That was
I've
a
never
long
been.
time.
I'm sorry. Go ahead.
A girl from the Midwest made a trip to Hollywood, California to see the sights and hopefully catch a glimpse of a real movie star. I seen Goofy.
She talked about you, Dave.
Yeah, talk about
One
you.
afternoon, she visited Beverly Hills and went into an ice cream shop to get an ice cream cone. She put in her order and then suddenly realized the person standing next to her at the counter was none other than Paul Newman.
Woo! My mom loved him.
She couldn't believe it. Her heart leaped. But she tried to keep her composure. She didn't want to act like an ignorant hillbilly, like I would. And she didn't want to embarrass herself in front of someone like Paul Newman. So she tried not to stare or show any emotion. She paid the cashier and turned and walked calmly out of the store. When she got outside, she took a deep breath and suddenly realized that she walked out of the store without her ice cream cone. Oh no, she must have left it on the counter. Now she was going to have to go back in and get the ice cream cone in front of Paul Newman. She just couldn't do that. So she decided to wait outside the store until Mr. Newman left the counter. When she noticed he was no longer there, she walked back into the store to retrieve the ice cream cone. But when she got to the counter, she felt a tap on her shoulder from behind. She turned around, and it was Paul Newman, flashing his famous smile. He said, "Miss, if you're looking for your ice cream cone, you put it in your purse."
Read the application there.
No matter how hard we try, we all end up looking pretty foolish from time to time. We can try to look cool or totally in control, but deep down we struggle with fears, worries, lack of confidence, and low self-esteem. And sometimes we let those things drag us down and keep us from experiencing all that God wants for us. Scripture encourages us to let go of our pride and to humble ourselves, to become a servant, which can be a pretty embarrassing thing for some people. Peter was embarrassed when he saw Jesus acting like a servant and wanting to wash his dirty feet. But think of how Jesus felt. He was God, yet he was kneeling down and doing the job of a slave. We may look pretty foolish sometimes at Christmas, we may look pretty foolish sometimes as Christians, but we are fools for Christ.
What was the number on every?
570.
I'm really bad. Every song that Harry picked out, I'm not even close. So here we go. 571. Hold that your goal for 2021. On my countless ocean, where mighty billows roll, I fix my hope in Jesus, the anchor of my soul. When trials fix the sail, and storms are gathering low, I rest upon His mercy and trust Him more. I'm anchored in Jesus, the storms of life outweigh. I'm anchored in Jesus, I hear no wind or wave. I'm anchored in Jesus, for He has power to save. I'm anchored in the rock of ages. He keeps my soul from evil and gives me blessed peace. His places in the waters and bring their golden seas. My pilot and deliverer, with Him I often fly. For always when I need Him, He's at my side. I'm anchored in Jesus, the storms of life outweigh. I'm anchored in Jesus, I fear no wind or wave. I'm anchored in Jesus, for He has power to save. I'm anchored in the rock of ages. He is my friend and Savior, in Him my anchor's fast. He drives away my sorrows and shoots me from the blast. By faith I'm looking upward, beyond my troubled sea. There I behold a haven prepared for me. I'm anchored in Jesus, the storms of life outweigh. I'm anchored in Jesus, I fear no wind or wave. I'm anchored in Jesus, for He has power to save. I'm anchored in the rock of ages.
721. There's some showers of blessings.
720. This was actually, and Nancy probably remembers this. This was the theme song. I never listened to the broadcast, but Church of the Nazarene did missions all over the world, and this was one of their theme songs and the name of their program for many years in different countries. There shall be showers of blessings. On. Copy time. There shall be showers of blessing. This is the promise of God. There shall be seasons refreshing, sent from the Savior above. Showers of blessing, showers of blessings we need. Mercy drops from the star falling, but for the showers we plead. All right. But you do want 2 books there then?
Yeah.
Yep. I want to ask, how did you get into karate?
Pastor Dave just asked a couple of us if we wanted to do karate, and I was in one of them, so I was in it for, I think, 11 and a half years.
Did he make you a belt, Dave, when you were done?
No, he actually got us, I started with my regular white belt that I got, and then I got this black belt, toward the end, so.
Well, my question is, tell us about the story did you tell me, sir, where you surprised him once?
Yeah, I think so. He was, he held the board right here, right in the middle, and he had me hit it with a palm strike. So it's like he got it right in front of his face. I didn't think I could hit it. And I think he was more shocked than I was. So.
Wow. We'll come over here and Brad's gonna tune the camera in. Now, don't try this at home unless you have a sore wrist.
Yeah, don't do this at home.
Is it true that when you hit a board, that you gotta kind of look past it? Is that just
Well,
my limited knowledge of karate?
if you've seen it all on TV, it's,
I have a pink belt, by the way, Brad.
okay.
I have suspenders.
Oh, we're gonna see our first board broken on coffee time. Isn't that exciting?
That's what we're hoping we're gonna see.
All right. So tell us what are some of the tricks? Somebody that's never done it should just go say, I'm gonna break the board, right?
Yeah, it's not that easy. You really got to be careful when you do this, otherwise you can hurt your hand.
Should I be ready to dial 911?
This is my bowling hand.
Bowling hand.
Yeah. Okay.
Do I need to hold the books?
No. Okay, this should work. Okay. Yeah. Everybody freak out at this point in time. So you kind of go like this. I'm just putting my fingers out of the way so I don't break them. Okay, 1. You gotta breathe through this one too, so it kind of 1, 2.
Oh, yeehaw! You know what? I got some wood to split. Would you like to come to my house?
Just don't anybody try that, because I've got 11.5 years of practice doing that. So
Wait here a minute.
Whoop.
We're not gonna, okay. Now, karate is for self-defense, right?
Yeah, definitely for self-defense.
Now, I don't want you to hurt me, but let's say somebody comes at you, okay? Let's say some big guy, like Brad, who's a bully, all right?
So if you punch, you can go like that, or like punch.
So what if you do say, I'm gonna try to smack you in the face?
Yeah, I'll come across like that.
Okay.
And then,
Wow.
you're probably doing TV, or it's like an out block, like that.
Do you ever do one of those back kick things, or?
No, we
Don't
don't.
hurt
Yeah, kill myself. Okay, we can do side kicks, so yeah.
Well, that was great. Let's give him a hand. I want your comments about that. All right. Our first karate instruction, and when do you start your class up?
I am not.
Oh,
Only somebody that really knows what's going on.
He is coming to my house to split wood, though.
he's coming to split wood. Oh, that was great, Wayne. We appreciate that so much. On coffee time. You sing the first part if you know it, just the chorus. I'm getting nothing for Christmas, 'cause I ain't been nothing but bad. This is what you read?
Could have been.
I broke a bat on Johnny's head. Then you sing somebody's. Let's do this over. I broke a bat on Johnny's head.
Somebody snitched on me.
I hit a frog in sister's bed.
Somebody snitched on me.
I spilled some ink on mommy's bed. I made Tommy eat a bug. Bought some gum with a penny slug.
Somebody snitched on me.
You guys can sing this part with me. I'm getting nothing for Christmas. Mommy and Daddy are mad. I'm getting nothing for Christmas, 'cause I ain't been nothing but bad. I won't be seeing Santa Claus.
Somebody snitched on me.
He won't come visit me because
Somebody snitched on me.
next year I'll be going straight. Next year I'll be good, just wait. I'll start now, but it's too late.
Somebody snitched on me.
Everybody, I'm getting nothing for Christmas. Mommy and Daddy are mad. I'm getting nothing for Christmas, 'cause I ain't been nothing but bad. You remember that song, Brad?
I've never heard it.
You never heard that?
Never.
It was such a shelter.
Never.
But Harriet did.
Yes.
Oh, yeah. Do you remember those kids growing up? I mean, they probably turned out good, but they were kind of brats.
Oh, yeah.
And their parents wouldn't do nothing.
No.
You know?
Hence, they were kind of brats.
They were brats.
Yeah.
You know, it was kind of a battered and scarred old violin, but the auctioneer had them gentlemen hold it up with the bow. Hold it up. What are my bids? How about $1?
Wait, is that what?
Yeah, how about $1? Say dollar. How about $2?
Okay.
How about $3? $3 going once, going twice. But no, from the room far back. You're an old gray-haired man now. An old gray-haired man came forward and picked up the bow and tightening up all the strings, he played a melody that was pure and sweet as when an angel sings. Now play it again. Well, now the auctioneer in a voice that was kind of surprised said, "What am I bid?" Somebody cried, $1,000.
I bid $1,000.
How about $2?
$2.
How about 3?
3,000.
3,000 going once, going twice, and gone. Some of the people cheered, and some of them couldn't understand what changes the worth of that old violin. Came a voice from the crowd. It was the touch of a master's hand. You know, many a man would lie about a tune that's battered and scarred and sand. But when the master comes, he touches. Let's sing that chorus together. You sing it home, we'll sing it all. Amazing Grace. Amazing Grace, how sweet the sound that saved a wretch like me. I once was lost, but now am found. Was blind, but now I see. Thank you, guys. We are going to do what we do, and I didn't tell you guys this, but we're doing a skit every week, our coffee time skit. This is the front page, this is the back. So, Laura, you'll be picking up person 1, and you'll be person 2. The story of Thanksgiving on this coffee time drama. I don't remember who's won. Laura, you're one.
That's impossible to do.
What are you talking about?
That, being thankful stuff from that verse.
You mean Philippians 4:6?
I think so. You know it?
Be anxious for nothing, but in everything, by prayer, supplication, thanksgiving, let your requests be made known to God.
That's the one. There's no way I can be thankful for everything. You'd be nuts to be thankful for everything. I mean, really, how can I be thankful for losing my job or staring at cancer? I'm supposed to be thankful for that?
The verse doesn't say you have to be thankful for everything. It says to be thankful in everything, meaning even while bad things are happening.
But thankful for what?
The things that God has done and is doing and will do in your life.
What's he gonna do?
Okay, so you just lost your job. During this time, how can you be thankful?
But I don't feel thankful. Not at all.
It's not based on how you are feeling. It's a command. You can choose to just react to your situation, or you can choose how you will react in your situation.
Okay, but what was the question again?
As you are now unemployed, how can you be thankful?
I guess I would be thankful that I don't have cancer and I still have my health.
Good point.
And I can be thankful that I have friends like you, especially if I need anything, you'd be there for me.
Yeah.
Cliff, you didn't say this was true to life. And I'm thankful you have a spare room in your house in case I lost my apartment.
Okay. And you could be thankful how God will help you find a new job. Not only are we to be thankful about how God has provided, but how He's going to provide and how He answers prayer.
Hey, are you feeling anxious?
No.
Not just a little bit?
Come on. I'll feel better once we pray and ask God to help you get a job.
And thank him for how he's going to help me find a job.
You're catching on.
All right, that was tremendous. You guys are naturals. And that play, I would want to give credit, came online, written by Candace Harms. Don't know her, but I think that's pretty good. Harriet is going to do a special for us now. So Brad's going to turn the camera on her. What's the name of this special?
Jesus is precious.
On
Coffee time.
Yay!
Yeah.
I love the thrill that I feel when I get together with God's wonderful people. Love the thrill that I feel when I get together with God's wonderful people. What a sight just to see all the happy faces praising God in heavenly places. What a thrill that I feel when I get together with God's wonderful people.
All right, so it's time for my monologue this morning on this wonderful Coffee Time talk show. So here we go. Did you see the latest Coffee Time Wisconsin newspaper article with Coffee Time Wisconsin's accountant, Mr. Coffee Numbers? Mr. Numbers wrote a column this week on the art of accounting. That had to be a good article. Mr. Coffee Numbers said, when you make a mistake of adding the date to the right side of your statement, you must add it to the left side also. Also, this week in the Coffee Time Wisconsin newspaper advice column expert Decaffeinated Cindy said that advice is a lot like getting a kiss on the forehead. It doesn't hurt, but it doesn't help much either. Yes. Now, here's a word from our announcer, Pastor Cliff. Hit some music, Harriet. Today's Coffee Time talk show with Bob is brought to you by Paul Marshall's Appliance Service of Coffee Time, Wisconsin. Any appliance for a limited time that is fixed by Pa, he'll give you his new 10-song single, I Sing About Appliances by Paul Marshall. Songs include The Old Gray Oven Doesn't Heat Like It Used to. Back to you, Bob.
Yeah, one of my favorite songs on that album from Pa Marshall is The Vacuum Cleaner Has a Dirty Job. They just don't write songs like that anymore, Pastor Cliff.
No, they don't.
Now, it's time for our two guests today on Coffee Time Talk Show. With me, Robert Bob, that is. As you know, it is Law Enforcement Week in Coffee Time, Wisconsin, and Coffee Time County. Here they are, Sheriff Larry of Coffee Time County and the Chief of Police Kim of the City of Coffee Time, Wisconsin. Welcome, officers. It's an honor to have you here on the Coffee Time.
Oh, hit it, Harriet, as we welcome our guest. They're undercover. They don't even have their badges on today there, Bob.
Well, Bob, on behalf of the men and women of Coffee Time County Sheriff's Department, thank you for having me. It is indeed an honor.
Well, Sheriff Larry, as I understand it, you're the only officer in the Sheriff's Department.
Now that you mention it, Bob, I guess you're right. I never really noticed. I guess I'm just too busy fighting crime in Coffee Time County.
On behalf of my two deputies, Carlton and Nolan, it's an honor to be the represent the Coffee Time Wisconsin City Police Department on Law Enforcement Week, right here on the Coffee Time Wisconsin Talk Show.
All right, now we're going to get back on track. Chief Kim, is it true that your two deputies, Carlton and Nolan, are under 18? And if so, how can that be? I thought you had to be at least 18 to be a police officer.
Huh, you might be right, Bob. I never had time to read the rule book yet.
Well, let me start with you, Sheriff Larry. How you have been sheriff now in Coffee Time County for 2 years. What made you want to run and become sheriff?
Well, I wanted to stop the crime and corruption going on in Coffee Time County. The previous sheriff was too weak on crime, Bob. It was time for a change.
Well, Sheriff Larry, what do you think was the biggest accomplishment you have made in the 2 years as sheriff in cracking down on crime in Coffee Time County?
I hate to say it, but people like Keyboard Harriet here selling decorated coffee beans without a license out of her art studio from home. I am happy to report that Keyboard Harriet's decorated coffee bean company has had a license for 2 years now.
Keyboard Harriet, I thought I knew you. I'm shocked. Sheriff Larry, how did Harriet take it when you told her that she had to pay for a business license every year for her business out of her home?
She took it pretty well. You see, Bob, I pay for the $60 license every year for her out of my own pocket. After all, I could not charge her. She is such a sweet lady and brings her homemade coffee ground pie each week to the sheriff's department.
Keyboard Harriet brings me her secret recipe of split coffee and bean casserole every month. We need more citizens like Keyboard Harriet, Bob.
You know, we're bringing you back every week because you're so good at this. We're not going to let this go. Might I add, Keyboard Harriet makes me her special coffee filter chocolate malts every week here at Coffee Time Wisconsin TV studio. Let me ask you now, Chief Kim, why did you run for police chief of Coffee Time Wisconsin 3 years ago?
Well, Bob, I've always been a fan of the TV police shows. I always wanted someday to be Barney Fife and Rambo, all rolled into one.
Wow, Chief Kim, I don't think Rambo was a police officer.
No, Bob, Rambo was not a police officer, but he sure should have been.
Chief Kim, what has been your greatest accomplishment as the chief of police Coffee Time Wisconsin, of the Coffee Time Wisconsin community for the last 3 years?
Well, Bob, I'm proud to say that I've been able to stop the gang that was going on in Coffee Time, Wisconsin for the past 10 years.
Well, if any of our viewers are new to Coffee Time Wisconsin or this talk show, about 2 years ago, Chief Kim stopped gang tension, as I said earlier, going on between the decaffeinated gang in the north part of the city and the decaffeinated gang in the south side of the city. How, Chief Kim, did you stop the coffee wars between these two gangs? I always wanted to know.
Well, Bob, I sat down the two leaders of the decaffeinated gang and the decaffeinated gang in my office, and I said, listen, you guys, if you don't start respecting each other's differences, I'm going to enforce martial law and ban coffee altogether in Coffee Time, Wisconsin. And then everyone will blame you. Let me tell you, Bob, it worked.
I did not know, Chief Kim, that you, as a police chief, had the authority to enforce martial law and ban coffee.
Well, Bob, I don't, but they didn't know that.
Wow, Chief Kim, I could see you being governor someday. Let me now ask both of you, have you ever been to had to shoot your gun in the line of duty?
One time, Bob, and one time only.
Sheriff Larry, it must have been a very nervous time when you had to shoot that gun. Your adrenaline must have been pumping.
I'll say it was, Bob. Took 6 months for my foot to heal.
As for me, Bob, I don't carry a gun. I find a slingshot much more effective instead.
But Chief Kim, how is a slingshot going to help you in a bank robber situation or an all-out shootout situation?
Huh. You know, Bob, I never thought about that. I'll have to consider what you just said.
All right, last question for both of you here on Law Enforcement Week here in Coffee Time County and City. How important is it for a person to follow the law and really respect law enforcement?
Well, Bob, Romans 13, 1 through 5 tells us, let every person be subject to the governing authorities, for there is no authority except from God, and those that exist have been instituted by God. Therefore, whoever resists the authorities resists what God has appointed, and those who resist will incur judgment. For rulers are not a terror to good conduct, but to bad. Would you have no fear of the one who is in authority? Then do what is good, and you will receive his approval, for he is God's servant for your good. But if you do wrong, be afraid, for he does not bear the sword in vain. For he is the servant of God, an avenger who carries out God's wrath on the wrongdoer. Therefore, one must be in subjection, not only to avoid God's wrath, but also for the sake of conscience. Bob, we really cannot respect God if we don't first respect those he has put in authority over us. There are times when we have to take a loving stand against rulers who go off God's plan for our country, but disrespect should never be an option for a Christian or any citizen of this great country.
1 Peter chapter 2, verse 13 to 17 says, be subject for the Lord's sake to every human institution, whether it be to the emperor as supreme or to governors as sent by him to punish those who do evil and to praise those who do good. For this is the will of God, that by doing good you should put to silence the ignorance of foolish people. Live as people who are free, not using your freedom as a cover-up for evil, but living as servants of God. Honor everyone, love the brotherhood, fear God, honor the emperor. You see, Bob, God wants us as Christians to be a Christ-like example to all those around us, including those who are in authority. And those who are in authority should be just as respectful to those who they serve.
Folks, we've had a lot of fun this week on Coffee Time Talk Show. But seriously, we do honor and respect all our police everywhere who are doing their best to serve the communities with a good heart. Thank you, Chief Kim. Thank you, Sheriff Lar. And thank you, Keyboard Harrier.
It's my spelling mistake.
And I thought it was serious. And I hear that you, Keyboard Harriet, will soon have your Cooking with Coffee cookbook out soon. Join us next week for Marge the Librarian and Lori the Librarian in training. This is Bob Robert Bob for Coffee Time Wisconsin Talk Show. So long.
When you pray, will you pray for me? For I need His love and His care. When you pray, will you pray for me? Will you whisper your name in your prayer? That is personal. When I pray, I will pray for you need His love and His care. When I pray, I will pray for you. I will whisper your name in my prayer.